Hi, everybody. Welcome to Kindness Changes Everything. I'm Karen Palmer, known as Miss Kindness, and I host this show to show you the amazing people out in the world that are proving to us that kindness does change everything. Today, I have my dear friend Miranda, and she's going to be talking to us about all the work that she has been doing with Unify, with the Peace on Earth games, with all the work that she's doing in her community. And we will be talking about our amazing event. Tomorrow is our 3rd anniversary. If you're new to Spirituality Gone Wild, please like our page and you'll get notifications when we are live. We're a channel that's dedicated to raising the levels of compassion, gratitude, joy, love, kindness, and peace on earth. And that is what we are here on this show to talk about. I love to be able to bring you these amazing people who are truly, truly living their purpose and shining their light in the dark places. I want to talk a little bit with Miranda about the work that she has done in her own community, and just have her share a little bit about the what she feels is going to help our world to create peace on earth by 2030.
Aw, thank you, Karen. So glad to be here with you. I love you so much.
I love you so much too.
Aw. And I love Spirituality Gone Wild. Everything I've ever seen from Spirituality Gone Wild has been amazing. Karen and I got to know each other because I work for an initiative, or I'm working on a pilot of an initiative called Peace on Earth by 2030 game. And it is a big, crazy, audacious goal to actually work towards creating peace on Earth by 2030. And those of us that are playing the game believe that we can reach tipping points on the planet of kindness and befriending other people and doing good in the world that can help create peace on Earth, even with all of the craziness that we see in the world right now. That's even amplified the importance of what we're doing even more. And so my background is I'm a mother of 5. I'm a holistic nurse. I've been a nurse for 20 years. But I saw how broken our medical systems were. And probably 12 years ago, I think 12 years ago, I helped create a holistic care, patient care center, trying to help solve the needs of patients more holistically, but just saw the brokenness. And I saw that at the kids' schools with many families, and just how broken our systems were. So I started studying a lot more about intentional communities and whole systems, community development, and what solutions are out there that could be a greater solution. And it led me to a lot of work in the peace world and health and wellness and interfaith, and just kind of trying to see the awakened people on the planet and what they're doing to help others and what can really help holistically help people's lives and help the systems of our planet to get better at helping care for people's needs and help us be able to be there for each other more and be in harmony with our planet more, which has been quite a journey. So it's led me to a lot of different places. I was executive director of Unify, which is a big organization that does global synchronized meditations starting in 2012. And we've done 46 campaigns for like Water Day, Women's Day, Earth Day, Peace Day, and just have seen a lot of miracles happen. As many as 100 million people coming in for a global synchronized meditation to hold an intention and pray for peace on Earth. In my perspective from working with Unify and all these peace groups and kind of the conscious, beautiful community that we work with, is that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there are so many awakening human beings that are consciously trying to make the world a better place, and they have kindness in their hearts, and they want to do good, and they're trying to do good all the time, and they're teaching their kids that, and they're just showing up in miraculous ways. And solutionary people that have, solutions for climate change or solutions for cleaning up pollution, all these kind of things are out there in mass. I mean, way too many to even thousands and thousands of solutions to solve the world's problems. It's now not a question of whether we are going to awaken as a species. It's more, how do we quickly implement the solutions and work together for whole systems transformative change that needs to happen for our planet to not be hurting, and for people on the planet to not be having to be in suffering and not having their needs met as well. So that's kind of the game, the challenge that a lot of us see. And the Peace on Earth game is one gamified solution for that holds many solutions in one. And it's really about finding harmony and peace within ourselves, and then having peace with each other, whatever that means. If it's your family, your friends, the people right next to you, people you work with, or reaching out to people that you would never usually reach out to, or in the greater world in some way, shape, or form. And there's 7 actions that we take to lead towards creating this harmony more in our communities and with ourselves and our families, friends, and then goes all the way up to harmony with our planet, and at a global level of all of us interconnecting and creating peace on earth zones and doing this work, and connecting and supporting others in other peace on earth zones, and providing an exchange of knowledge, information, inspiration, faith, friendship, resources, and just helping actually work for, we call it working for peace on earth, but peace on earth encompasses so many things that have to be accomplished in order to create peace on earth. But it also is just about us carrying on so much a deeper level for each other, with each other, and for our planet and all life.
I love that. And what I really was inspired by was the work that you've done with helping to end hunger in your area. Let's just kind of go back into that experience, and how did that come about? How did that start to unfold, that you've created an opportunity for children to really show that they can help end hunger in their own community? So I think that that's something that could be really inspiring for all our people who are listening. And thank you, Catherine. We're happy that you're here. And Debbie Garcia says, we love you, Miranda, so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone, for chiming in. We love hearing from you. Please type in the chat where you're watching from so we can give you a shout out. And I stuck the link in for our party tomorrow to celebrate our anniversary. Miranda will be there also. She's going to be one of our new hosts on Spirituality Gone Wild. We are honored and really, really humbled to know that she's going to be bringing her own wisdom and amazing talents to Spirituality Gone Wild. We also have a show that we do together tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., which will be the Women Rising series, and that's on unify.org. And it's also it's on the Unify Facebook page. So all you have to do is like that page and you'll get notifications when we are live. We'll also be broadcasting the entire event tomorrow from Unify and Spirituality Gone Wild. So yeah, Miranda, how did that get started? What exactly, talk a little bit about your community and where you live. It sounds like paradise. And I can't wait till COVID's a little more calm so that I can come out and visit you there.
Yeah. So I live in Crestone, Colorado, a teeny tiny little town. We have 1,400 people here. If you type in spiritual Mecca in North America, Crestone comes up. So it's a really unique, interesting town. We live at 8,000 feet in elevation. And there are 25 spiritual centers, like huge spiritual temples here, that were the vision of a woman named Hannah Strong. Since the 70s, she was granting land and having these spiritual centers come and be built here. And her vision that she had from Spirit back in the 70s was that bringing leaders of spirit groups together, and that they would meet regularly here in Crestone and learn how to create peace on earth. That didn't exactly happen in the ways that her vision showed. There was a lot of kind of infighting, or just not, a lot of the spiritual groups didn't want to meet about that, or didn't get along over many of these years. But the spiritual centers are still here, and a lot of them contribute to community projects here in different ways. And I feel like the vision that Hannah saw just hasn't quite reached its time yet, but it's coming. And it is a beautiful community that I live in, and I'm grateful for so many amazing, wonderful, awake beings here. We're known as like the straw bale capital in North America, the solar capital of North America, in this area, in this valley that we live in. So that's why I say highly conscious people that are really trying to make a difference in the world with the way that they live and their carbon footprint, and the way that they do alternative building and that kind of stuff, as well as the spirituality. So it's kind of a spirituality gone wild hub in some ways.
It does sound like it. Sounds kind of like spirituality gone wild on land. You know,
Yeah,
I can see us doing events there when things start, getting back, and we can start doing live events. I can see us being out at the spiritual centers and putting on musicals. We'll be doing that together. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. I think we'd be doing it this summer if we didn't have all of the virus. Every spiritual center is shut down right now, and probably
we are chanting to end COVID. I'm in the SGI USA, this SGI Soka Gaya International, and there's over 14 million people who are chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo to end COVID by November 18th. And many people have committed to chant for 2 hours a day. And so we're going to end it by November 18th. And I'm holding that vision.
I really
Yeah, so hold that vision with us, and let's see how many people we can get to chant. We're going to do, I've been doing chanting every night. We're on our 62nd day of chanting live, and we've been doing that, and I've seen incredible miracles myself. But we have a beautiful family over in India that is chanting also, and one of our sisters, Prachetta, told us about this this challenge that we're doing. So we're going to be, I'll put more information about that up in Spirituality Gone Wild, but we're inviting everyone to chant every day for as many times as they can. Learn about Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. It's about helping us to see the true self and be our true nature, and see the true self and the true nature in everyone that is here on the planet with us. So
yeah, blessings to that. Definitely put the link in there. I would love to be a part of some of that. I really do believe in, obviously, if we are holding the intention together, and even, staying healthy from the virus has a lot to do with our frequency that we're holding and the intention that we're holding for health and wellness, and everybody doing these kind of things to protect themselves and just help this virus to pass, or humanity to become strong enough to not be dealing with it on these same levels anymore.
Yeah, and it's really brought a lot of awareness to our broken food system too. And that's why I'm excited to hear about what you've done with really to have a more sustainable way for us to live.
Yeah, so let me get into that. So already our community is kind of seated with a lot of great people. And with the Peace Game, we started doing pilot teams here starting last October, testing out the game and the elements of it, and seeing if this works and can it help community. can we understand the gameplay, all of that kind of thing. So I had a youth team and one adult team going in Crestone starting in October. And one of the actions of the game is called Cooperation for Common Good. And you're led in the game through a process of meeting with your team, which your team is made up of 5 to 8 people. But you meet and then you guys talk and decide together, what could we gather greater cooperation for in our area that is a problem, a need, or a challenge that we want to address or try to help or solve or something like that. And so the youth kind of, the second, we asked about this, they came with a strong voice of, we talk about this all the time, that we don't want to see any more kids come to school hungry. And 67% of the families in our community are below the poverty line. And
wow,
there regularly are kids coming to school hungry, and some kids are bringing, 2 and 3 lunches just so that they can give them out and share them. There's a parent cooperative that does extra food for children at school that can't afford it, and different programs that we're bringing in. But our adult group said, yeah, if that's what the kids, want to do, is trying to work towards curing hunger in our community, let's see what we can do. And started reaching out to all of the any other food growing groups in the area and organic growers and farms, and just trying to see what's out there already, what could we help support more and do this better. And it has been one miracle after another with that initiative now. I mean, we were donated a piece of land in town by the Little Shepherd of the Hills Church, and then the town hall had a greenhouse attached to it that has not been being used for years. So we put in a letter to them and went and talked to them with some of the youth with us, and just said, please, we're wanting to have this goal, this dream of cooperating to cure hunger in our community. Can we use the greenhouse, and will you even fund us with the electricity and water and that kind of stuff for it, so that we don't have to come up with funding? And so they said yes to our proposal, and we applied for some grant money with the county, who also said yes to us. So we've been able to get 2 $5,000 grants since that time, so $10,000 total, to help us. We have 28 volunteers that are on our list of volunteers that come regularly and help, and got those 2 community garden sites up and going, which are beautiful and growing food. We're bringing like 4 or 5 boxes of food 2 times a week to the food bank now. And I mean, like, big boxes that it takes a lot of people, or it takes 2 people to carry them each box. So that's like, our harvest is just now starting to really happen like that, twice a week at each of the sites. And our food bank before used to be qualified people could go 1 time a month and get food if they needed it. And now we've been able to increase that to no questions asked. Anybody can go every Monday or every Wednesday and Saturday, 2 times a week, and get whatever they need with no questions asked. And so
I love that, Miranda. I mean, and see, this is what I think all communities can learn from this, right? I mean, we can have gardens that could really sustain our world. And what you've done is what I call the ripple effect. And what you've done is you've shown children, and you've been the example to show what is possible. And the more that we ask that question, what else is possible? What else can we do? Then the more we start to answer that question as a community. And that's why I think it's so important what you're doing and how this is scaling now. And I want to also go into, I just love this, Miranda. Thank you so much for being here on the show. I think that so many people are going to learn from you. So many people are going to be inspired by this. And to go to our peace2030.earth. We're going to be here in our little San Ynez Valley is going to be one of the first peace valleys. I'm working right now to be a peace on earth valley. So you can be a peace on earth zone. in little towns can be peace on earth zones and communities. Can you talk a little bit about the peace on earth zones and how people can, so everything is basically at peace2030.earth. So if you are interested in just even learning more about it, all you have to do is click on I'll carry the torch, and you have different options of ways that you can help.
Yeah. So our first peace on Earth zone is in Kabul, Afghanistan, and those we work with a school there called the Marifat School of Empowerment, and these kids are brilliant and amazing, and going through multiple kinds of empowerment training and peace leadership training, but they have dedication to really want to bring peace on earth. They live in the most violent area of the world that there is. They've had to grow up in that, have had to basically be scared for their lives every time they have to leave home and go to school, or even in their own houses, the amount of violence that they've grown up with. So they look at this as absolutely essential, even for the future of humanity, for the future of their lives, for the future to be able to have children, grandchildren, have a world to grow up in. So they kind of never stop working for peace. I mean, the befriending action and holding the vision that peace is possible on the planet are so alive, and they just never stop working. And it's going to other schools all around them now. They have 300 peace team leaders ready to launch this fall when we go for our public launch, because that's how much these youth and young adults want to join in an action that can actually create change that gives them a future. But they're one example of a peace on earth zone. Here in Crestone, we created one, and the difference between just having a peace team and a peace on earth zone is that in a peace on earth zone, you're declaring a region, as Karen was saying, which can be your town, it can be her whole valley like she's doing, it could be your state, it could be a city, it could be a whole beachfront, it can be whatever zone you choose, however small or large you want that to be. And then you kind of are giving a dedication for the next 10 years of some teams being active in that area and carrying the peace actions forward, as everything builds on each other. You play as a team. One round of the game takes 2 to 4 months to play and do all of the actions as a team. And you go through cooperation for the common good and befriending and unity actions and prayers for peace and holding the vision that peace is possible, all these things together. But we do have a lot of people signing up for Peace on Earth zones, and it is the most kind of juicy, and it creates the most change when you have a physical location actually creating these Peace on Earth zones. It ripples out even more of an effect. Half of our teams right now are online, which are made up of places that don't have actual physical zones that they're working on. But those teams play online. They do their meetings and stuff online right now. And then a lot of those teams split up into being individual team leaders later on in the areas that they're in and declare a Peace on Earth zone. And then they start having a team that's made up of their neighbors and friends and family right there in their own area, and start doing the actions there and going to schools and community centers and everywhere that they have ties, just like you, Karen, and all your ties to your beautiful community.
I'm just about ready to, I'm setting it a declaration right now. I'm going to say it right here and now that California is going to be the first Peace on Earth state. And I'm going to help make that happen. And, I think that it's so important that we really look at, how we can help to, when we are early adopters of this game. Mm-hmm. Miranda and I are both, we're actually dream keepers who went through the 7 activities and saw the incredible changes in our lives and in our community and in our own families. And really, we're so blessed to learn so much in these. So we're kind of like the beta testers, and we were the early adopters. we haven't even rolled this out to the public, and there's over 700, you said, partners now that are coming in as partners for Peace on Earth Partners. Over 300 peace leaders just in Afghanistan. You said there is, I mean, it's just, it's so amazing. And we haven't even rolled this out to the public yet. We're just starting to introduce the website. And can you talk a little bit about that? What's coming up for September? Because we have a really big launch happening in September that's coming out to the public.
Yeah, so we are combining with some pretty big organizations that already have been celebrating the International Day of Peace every year for many years. We the World does 11 days of global unity. Unity Earth does convergence events and Peace Weekend each year, and is doing a live broadcast that'll be 72 hours to change the world over Peace Weekend, so from September 19th to the 21st. And inside of these broadcasts, Unify is involved with that as well, and Compassion Games and Sign Network, Spirituality Gone Wild, all of us. There's many, many organizations that help to put on these events. And usually we have almost 1,500 events around the world that happen on the International Day of Peace, where people are doing peaceful marches and concerts and just peace events that have been happening in celebration of International Day of Peace. So this year, that's a little bit, everybody's in this question mark of how we're trying to deal with the virus shutdowns, but there's a lot of very big virtual events going on. So this year it'll be a big virtual event like that. So probably more than 200 leaders will speak and have video footage of peace efforts going on in the world in celebration of the International Day of Peace. But we are also launching to the public the Peace on Earth by 2030 game, which is, we've already surpassed our goals of how many team leaders we're going to start at our public launch and how many partners. So I'm so honored and grateful that it has already grown exponentially through grassroots growth, just from our players and team leaders that we have right now, just spreading it and spreading through our network, the amazingness of what's going on with this. But that will be, so the 19th through the 21st, we'll be broadcasting from many of the Peace on Earth zones, ones that are already established, and then ones that are declaring their Peace on Earth zone or Peace on Earth state, as you're saying now. It's like everybody evolves some new.
I can see Care Bear too. I can see Care Bear doing this in Canada too. I could see her taking it. She's like me. She gets very excited about her community, and I know we have so many wonderful really influencers that are playing the game beforehand. So we're all kind of early adopters who have been the influencers who have come together and really played the game in a way so that we're really teaching this collaboration as a new way of being in the world.
Yeah, and so so anyone can join us for these live virtual broadcasts. There'll be free events, and there'll be story after story of what's going on with the Peace on Earth game. And we're looking for players of the game, but for team leaders specifically. And I think probably thousands of new ones will come in during that weekend as well. And then this is a 10-year mission for us to create Peace on Earth by 2030, and not stop with spreading the actions of this game and the playing of this game, because it's a game that's not just a game. It's a game that's creating real change, and we're seeing the miracles of that a whole bunch, and just as many other groups and people around the world. We have a lot of excitement outside the United States too, with our teams in Australia and Bali and New Zealand and Italy and Scotland and Africa, Guatemala. Very excited to start the game with us too. So on a global level, it's a pretty big deal as well. And in some very war-torn areas of the world, it's even much more needed than here, even though here it's, producing amazing results, and we all need to be closer to our neighbors and be supporting and caring about each other more here, and be asking ourselves if we're finding inner peace every day and having the tools to do that, or are we in our own state of, war torn inside of ourselves and not having the peace and healing that we need. So this helps bring all of that and bring us closer to each other, and have a tribe to support each other in this work, and have something to have hope and faith in, that can produce such amazing results that we can all work for. And that's everybody of all ages. Kids can play this game too. We have
Yeah.
on our team. Even one of the actions is empowering the children to become, the peacekeepers of the future, and teaching them how to be peaceful beings that know how to befriend others and have the tools and skills to befriend another person. Just because if we were all friends on this planet at some point, no one would even want to show up for a war anymore. There's nothing that's important enough to say we still need to go to war if we're all friends someday.
And we're holding that vision. We're really holding that vision. We're seeing that vision. I like to talk a little bit about HeartMath. HeartMath.org is a great organization that's talking about coherence. And I want to lead us in a little coherent experience right now so that we can really experience the feeling of coherence, because what you're talking about is what we can have on our planet if we can all be friendly, if we can all be bringing our brain and our heart into coherence. We'll start to see a beautiful new way of being on the planet. I think what David Gershon has done with the prophecy of the 1,000 years of peace coming to us through the golden age. I'd love for you to just share a little bit about that part of it, because it's really exciting to think that, David has actually done this before. He's gone around the world before in 1987, the game master, the man who is the person behind the game itself. Can you talk a little bit about that? And then we'll do a little experience of seeing how that really does happen.
Yeah, there's been a lot of synchronicities in my life that led me to meeting David and to be here now. I remember when I was 6 years old, in first or second grade, we watched a thing called the First Earth Run on TV as they carried a torch of peace around the planet over 86 days. And everywhere that the torch went, it created peace on Earth. And this was at a time when there was a lot of fear around nuclear war, and peace needed to be brought to a lot of areas. And a man named David Gershon is the one that created the Peace on Earth by 2030 game. And it is based off of the actions that helped create peace on Earth when they did the Earth Run in 1986. And at that time, they actually were carrying a torch of peace. 25 million people joined in carrying this torch of peace around the planet, and 1 billion people watched it on TV. And I thought, as a little kid, I can remember it so clearly, I thought we would have peace on Earth at that time. I thought, how could that many people show up and be together, hoping and wanting peace and running this torch around the planet, and not work for it and have it come in the near future? Obviously, that hasn't been the case. We're seeing more chaos and more in some ways than ever. But as I said, there's also a huge awakening of people that are caring so much more for each other and trying to create solutions that care for our planet and each other. And David has held this vision this whole time, and studied what actions really created that feeling of peace, the unity in communities. There was like a contest and competition for who could cooperate the most to create incredible change. And all of those pieces are part of the game now, which has been incredible to be a part of, because you're basing it on something that the foundation was laid in 1986, and then it was heavily studied And David has done work in social innovation and many social change and empowerment initiatives for 40 years. Um, he's
Yeah.
quite an amazing scientist, and there's a lot of research behind the behavior change initiatives that he's launched into the world. So to have this peace game um, come to the planet and have so much excitement and have so many people joining in, and then have the results that are happening, which are truly miraculous in no matter which team you're talking to. And David is just such a brilliant guide of always pushing his own growing edges, always researching, always looking for what can help more. Has so many beautiful partners and people in the world that his initiatives work with already. And I mean, some of his initiatives are already in many other countries, helping with climate change, helping with women's development, helping with empowerment, resource funding and flow. And some, for anyone curious about David Gershon and the larger work that he does, you can go to reinventing.earth, that website, and there's some websites that kind of talk about all of his initiatives and his history and everything as well. And obviously he's a very important part of this game, since he's the founder and mastermind behind it, with so much research and guiding the process all the time, even guiding the look and feel, the tech build that we've been going through for the last 6 months. And Carlin Young has been a brilliant developer for us to help create the Peace on Earth by 2030 game technology platform that we use, that all of the team leaders and members, players log into, and the peace zones show their work in there, and it helps actually guide each meeting and each action. You do your reporting of your points and medals that you're earning for all of the actions inside this beautiful tech platform too.
Incredible. It's just incredible. You know, and this is what I did last week. I talked about the 100th monkey, and I talked about how we did a show last week on talking about the 100th monkey and this phenomenon of if enough people believe this is possible, we tip the scales in our favor and we actually start to see peace on earth. So he has actually done the science behind it. He knows exactly what to do, and I think we're going to move way faster than 2030. I personally feel like we are going to see this. We're already seeing it. You know, we're already seeing the patterns of change on our planet that are really amazing. So for this minute, I just want everyone to just take a minute. First, I want you to think about what Miranda has talked about. I want you to think about all the ways that she's one person who had a vision for her community and was able to share that ripple effect and reach many more people than she thought she ever was planning on reaching. That we had this early adopter plan, and we had goals that we set, and we have far overreached those goals. And so let's hold that vision for each other as we go into this understanding that one person who vibrates with love in their heart, with peace on their mind, and with kindness in their actions counterbalances 750,000 people who are in the low vibration of shame and blame and fear. Those frequencies are not the frequency raising energies for our planet. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to raise the frequency by using the heart math process and using coherence by bringing our hands to our heart and just slowing down our breath and just being fully present in this moment. And as long as you're not driving or operating any kind of machinery, just closing your eyes right where you are and just feel that universal heartbeat, the connection of all that is beating through your heart, and feel the energy and bring back into your memory, using your imagination, a time when somebody cared for you, a time when you weren't able to care for yourself and somebody was there. Feel the energy and the frequency of care and gratitude. And slowing down your breath, noticing the joy that comes from feeling cared for, the gratitude that comes from somebody being there when you couldn't help yourself. Feel that energy and know of a new time, a time when you were able to care for somebody. And feel how that feels in your body as you remember the smile on their face, the hug that they may have given you, the appreciation that they showed you. As you hold this vision, as you hold these two visions, imagine a world where people on the planet were caring for all living beings, that this frequency was going in all different directions and was touching many, many lives and opening many hearts. Feel into that and know without a shadow of a doubt, with complete faith, that you just raised the frequency on the planet. Come back into this moment and open your eyes and really feel that frequency of caring and gratitude and joy. Because when we all have those frequencies running through our body, we will not have war. Because we will not want to hurt one another. I love what Phil Lane says. Help one, help all. Harm one, harm all. We are one. And the heart math has done the science to prove it. So I highly recommend you go to heartmath.org. I'm going to reach out to them. I don't know if you've reached out to them yet, Miranda, but I'm going to reach out to them because I feel that I would love for them to be peace partners. Because, and I also feel like we need to find out who is doing the work for Dr. David Hawkins. Because I feel like his energy, you know, what we do here as you guys are listening, and what we've noticed ourselves in playing the game is that our loved ones, our ancestors, the angels, the ascended masters, all the beautiful light beings that are across the veil, our galactic family, all of these amazing helpers have been helping us and have been guiding us through all of these journeys. And as we continue to grow, we're getting more and more support. And so what we just did there is really helping to raise the frequency on the planet. And if we do that once a day, every day for 40 days, I just did this, I just was taking the course because I'm going to bring this to the children in the schools. We will see a completely different neural pathway in our brain. So everything that Miranda talked about today, we just experienced in our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies as we did that experience together. Because what she did was she went out into her community and she cared about something. She heard the children say, there's too many kids that are not getting fed. There's too many kids that don't have food. That is really incredible for a child to have that insight also, to really notice, you know, because this is what we need to see on our planet is when we realize that we're all in this together and we start to take these moments, these beautiful holy moments, these beautiful sacred moments when the children come to us and say, here's what needs to be fixed. Here's what we need to do differently. And we, as the adults, listen, because, you know, working with second graders myself, one little boy completely changed everything for me in just one sentence. And he said, I said, we were talking about the Peace on Earth games, and we were on the first, the first activity, the first getting how many people can believe that peace is possible. And I asked this little boy, second grade, I said, what do you feel will help us to see peace on earth? And he said, oh, that's simple. Peace on earth will happen when we have more than enough and we want to share. And it just stopped me right in my tracks. I wrote it down, and I have put it on like every quote. I've put it on everything that I can. And every time I do a talk show, I share that little boy. He's going to be one of our players in September, and his family is absolutely beautiful and wonderful. But think about if all of our governments and all of our healthcare and all of our banking systems and all of the systems, educational systems, what if we all saw that as the way that we could have peace on earth?
Yeah. I mean, even being able to talk about this in this short amount of time is hard to say.
Yeah.
Like how many miracles.
That's why you're going to have your own show. That's why you're going to have your own show. And I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. See, that's what I mean. Like, we just started talking. I reached out to Miranda. I reached out to David, and I said, I feel like I have some talent that I might be able to help. And I'd love to, be on the marketing team. I'd like to help this grow. And I had no idea. This is what I mean when we don't, you got to let go of the how and be ready for the wow, because the hows and the who's are not our job. What our jobs is the what and the why, and be ready for the wow. That's that's what we're in charge of. The universe and all of our helpers are in charge of the hows and the who's. And so what we do as humans a lot of times is we get all caught up in the how and the who. How am I going to get this? Who am I going to get to help me with this? How am I going to get this? And we stop ourselves in our own tracks. So I love that you have shown us a roadmap of what we can do in our own community. So what's the best way people can get in touch with you, Miranda? And when we do start your new show, I know Becky says, this is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I got to push this up here. This is so beautiful to watch both of you shining in your gifts for peace and love and kindness in the world. Thank you. Oh, we love you too, Becky, so much. And I'm excited to talk to you more and to get involved with what you're doing more too, because I think what you're doing, I'd love to have you on the show too, Becky. So please reach out to me on social media and message me privately. And anybody, who has some wonderful things that they're doing in their community, everyone deserves to be heard. Everyone deserves to be seen. Everyone deserves to be valued. And if we treated each other with respect and dignity and saw the equality that we have for one another, we could see a completely different planet. And so I hold that vision every night as I go to sleep and when I'm chanting, and I see all of us coming together and knowing that we really are equal. We really all do deserve dignity. We all deserve respect. And if we just could notice when somebody else is not being treated equally and stand up for that person and speak out when you see something that doesn't feel in alignment with the frequency of love and kindness and peace. You know that frequency. We know that feeling. We know that feeling in our body when we see an injustice, when we see something that doesn't feel fair. And we're in a position now as, you know, influencers and people who can utilize media and really make a big difference. So if you are somebody who doesn't know how to find your voice, hasn't been able to share your message, please reach out to us at spiritualitygonewild.com. Debbie G and I would be honored to help you to start your own show here. If you're not comfortable doing your own show, you can come on and be a guest and we'll do all the technology for you. But we would love to have everyone who feels like they have something important to share. And we all have something important to share. Kathy Watson, I love you, sweetheart. I'm so, so grateful that you're here. She's another beautiful Australian sister. And Kathy Watson, I would love to see you get involved in the Peace on Earth Games. I think you would be an incredible dream keeper. And really, I know you would make a beautiful helper for the Peace on Earth zone for your area. So get involved, you guys. Reach out to myself or Miranda. Reach out over on the website. Go to peace2030.earth. And also World Peace Weekend. I want to get back to the there we go, Peace 2030. So peace2030.earth is really the hub of everything. And you can get involved by just going to peace2030.earth and hitting that button that says, I'll carry the torch. If you want to be a team leader, you'll learn how to be a team leader. We give you all the tools. We give you all the techniques and all the strategies so that you'll be set up for success. If you want to just be a team player, we'll set you up with a team and we'll get you set up so you'll be ready for September. You'll be part of creating a new history. We have truly, Miranda, we have truly, truly loved this dream into our new reality together. And I just want to thank you for that. I am so grateful that we've had these incredible moments together of just playing that wouldn't it be great and saying, oh, maybe we could do this or maybe we could do that. And we didn't even have any peace partners. We didn't have peace leaders. What did we start? We started, you guys, we met and we started this back in April. Was it April when I first met you?
Yeah, I think a little bit before that, in March or something, because we started the beta round of the game in April.
May. But we did the influencers in May, right?
Yeah, and you are such a rock star. You are a Jedi of peace and kindness and change. I mean, you brought in so many peace leader or team leaders for the beta round, even, that are all media gurus and just have amazing networks and global networks. And you were just like, I've got one after another, after another, after another. Like everybody I talk to is saying yes, and they all want to come on board and let's get them all trained. And it's just amazing working with you, Karen. And I'm just as inspired by you. And it does take all of us giving each other our energy and our love and our support, and it just helps it to grow for all of us and makes it so much more real. And someone in my community here recently, like we just had a whole busload of people show up from a thing called the People's Project and Permaculture Action Network, and they had heard about what's going on here, and they just want to contribute time and their expertise in helping us with build projects and helping with more of the greenhouses. And I didn't even finish saying before what else been happening, but we now have 10 garden sites donated, and that we're working on getting greenhouses and community gardens up and going. And then about 25 others in the community that have donated rows or parts of their gardens to bring food to the food bank continuously through the food efforts too. So all of that has happened amazing. But when I went to introduce some of the people that have come into our network to help work with us too, this was such a confirmation for me of what you were just talking about. I was introducing them and saying they came to work with us because they believe in this, you know, curing hunger project and the Peace on Earth game and are helping with that. And they were like, we do believe in all of that stuff, and you guys do have amazing systems for change in the game, and all this kind of stuff is cool. They're like, but the honest truth is we came to work with you because of your energy and your community's energy and the loving kindness and the way that we're welcomed and the way that you do that for other people and value all the people around you and the energy that you guys hold. And I was like, you know, we talk so much about energy and frequency, and that it is really about, you know, that energy of peace on earth that we hold and that we give to each other, and keep that faith and inspiration and love going as much as we can to the best of our ability. And that does, I don't even know where those numbers were that you just talked about, with the one person can affect
That's how,
what's happening with 750,000
that's
others.
Dr. David Hawkins. Dr.
Okay.
David Hawkins wrote a book called Power versus Force. And that's how I got started doing global meditations online. That's how I started. I heard that. And I had been hearing from so many people, Karen, what are you talking about? What are you doing? All this kindness stuff. You're just one person. You can't make a difference. And I found this thing. and I started telling everybody, I'm just one person, but listen, one person can make a difference. And I went to the schools and I started, you know, way back when I first started. I've been going to the schools for 19 years now, since my daughter was in kindergarten when I started, and started our first Earth Day. We didn't have an Earth Day celebration here, and we've grown it to a huge, beautiful event. But you know, when people say one person can't make a difference, that's your ego. And what I want to say right now is what Miranda and I are to each other is mirrors. We're mirrors of possibility. And we are joining genius, as Barbara Marx Hubbard has taught us. And we are being guided, like I said, from the veil, across the veil, and we are listening. We are very good human listeners. And we are here in this frequency to raise the frequency and to help others to remember their own magnificence, so that when we can see the magnificence in one another, we will not have any more poverty. We will have no more violence. We won't have to go and make a game for peace on earth, because we'll see the magnificence in each other. We won't be trying to compete with each other. We'll be trying to raise each other up. And that's what Rising Women series is all about. So tomorrow, tune into us. Miranda and I will be with Debbie G and some amazing women that you are just going to love this show that we have every Saturday at 8 a.m. on unify.org. And check us out on Facebook. We have the Facebook page for Women Rising Series. Is that the correct page, Miranda? Women Rising Series.
Yeah, it's on, facebook.com/unify, and then click on Women Rising Series. Yes.
So you can find us there and join us in the group, and also come and see us tomorrow. I posted in the chat the link for you to get your ticket to come and be a part of the Rainbow Connection of infinite collaboration. It's going to be a day full of music and magic, and we're going to have David Gershon, the actual game master. I'm going to get to interview him tomorrow, and you're going to get to hear the whole way that this is actually happening on our planet right now. You are watching history in the making, and we are truly, truly blessed to be having the wisdom of David Gershon, sharing his incredible game with us. And I tell you right now, it is life-changing. So Miranda, let people know the best way for them to contact you, and then we will be having you, we'll be putting you in the schedule, and pretty soon you'll be hosting your own show.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Thank you for that. There is so many topics to discuss and so much exciting things going on in the world, even though on one end it can look really chaotic and hard to find hope sometimes right now. But that's only one side of the story. There's a whole other bigger picture that we're going to be talking about a lot. The easiest way to get a hold of me, you can find me on Facebook, Miranda Clendening. You can find me at the Peace on Earth by 2030 game Facebook page and contact me there, or you can go to peace2030.earth website and click on contact us, and that will send me an email as well. And tune into Spirituality Gone Wild. I'm here and involved often, and tomorrow on 8/8 during the Rainbow Connection and Lionsgate portal, this very important energy portal time period. I'll be on there with Debbie and Karen, so please join us for that. Thank you.
Wow. Yay, everybody. Remember, it's growing and growing the more we speak. Kindness, compassion, it's at its peak. I challenge you. You challenge me. We are one global family. There's unity in all we seek, so spread this wide and find a way. Do something kind every day. Remember, kindness changes everything. You're a very important part of helping to make a kinder world. And you did bring this, attracted this show to you to become a part of the solution. So join us in all the ways.
I bought a backpack to go hiking with, and it just happened to say "Be kind" on it. I didn't even notice when I bought it. I don't know if you could see that.
Yes, be kind. Yes, be
it's an
kind.
Amazing synchronicity.
Absolutely. Well, you know, kindness does change everything. And that's why this show is featuring the people who are helping us to see the power of kindness. So remember, do something kind every day. And thank you so much. Get involved, be involved, find a way to reach out to Miranda and get yourself in this beautiful game. It is going to change your life for the better. It's going to help our planet. And it's just a crazy win-win-win. We all win when we play this Peace on Earth game.
Thank you.
Thank you.